Monday morning. I'm feeling really good today for the start of Q1. How about you? Are you ready to jam? I know I am. Let's rock. Happy Monday, everybody. How are you? Welcome on in. It's good to see you. I gave the wrong thumbnail still frame there, but it still worked. You're all here. That's all that matters. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome on in. I don't normally do weekday mornings, and I saw there was an opportunity for a pop-up. I figure since I'm not here Wednesday, I'll try to at least catch you one or two other days this week. How are you? If you want to check out the HeartBreathings Reading community, please portal hop on over and check the calendar. This week, there's plenty of that. Schedule is a little different as the holidays wrap up and wind down. I do hear tell that there's a certain double down day at the end of this week, though. So check the calendar, Join our Facebook. I do believe JD, speaking of pop-ups, is going to be going this afternoon. So I'll basically hand you off with a break in between. And if you want to check out or add to the list of professional development books on this list, feel welcome to do so. Elizabetha, hello, how are you? Halfrin's here. Geeky Witch is here. Good morning. Carla, how are you? How's Walden? Alrighty, so for those of you who haven't been here in a bit, I'm going to go ahead and draw a card for us. I think on a Monday, I know how some people in this community feel about unicorns. Just saying. I feel like we need some affirmators this morning, though. It felt appropriate, and I'd like to eventually finish through this 100-card deck by the 2-year anniversary of us having it. So let's see. What card have we yet to get out of that deck? Clarity. That's a nice one to have today. What are you unwrapping? What are you letting go of in the final days of this year as we ramp up the new one? Clarity. Stopping to listen to yourself, you can easily separate your intuition from your mental chatter. The clarity of your intuition is a sweet, simple fruit that tastes familiar, and the mental chatter is confusing, bitter rind that I shall peel off and chuck into the garbage, compost heap if you prefer to keep it more organic in your processing. I think that's an appropriate card for everybody today. This, if you know your Chinese, Vietnamese astrology, it's a snake year. The final days to shed are coming in fast, as I keep getting reminded by other people this morning. So, Stacy, good morning. They'll mate and reproduce with anything. Don't give them ideas, Carla. How dare you? They don't need that suggestion in their box. It's New Year's week. We can have a sparkly. We are allowed to have a sparkly week. This is the week that other people call it void week. I used to teach in high school English. They called it the same thing because normally teachers and healthcare professionals this week are like, okay, everyone just shh, so that I can shh and have energy for another year. So to those of you who are in that boat, glad to have you with us for sure. But I also like to call it my recharge, my sparkly week, because I'm taking down my sparkly applies. Therefore, my inner magpie, whose favorite color is indeed shiny. Yes, shiny to my inner magpie is a color. Therefore, I try to be like, okay, enjoy the shinies one last time. Because they're all going to have to go away. If you're in my membership, by the way, you were going to have the joy tomorrow during our memberships only stream to see me do the destruction on camera. Bethany, hello, hello, hello. This Betha, void week. You love working between Christmas. Exactly. See, I worked in call centers prior to becoming a teacher. Call center management, I would volunteer in my early 20s as low-level management to be like, those of you with kids, take your PTO this week. Why? Because it's basically PTO at work that week. You want to talk about college me finishing up my associate's degree, starting my bachelor's degree while working in call center management full time? This is why I love to work this week. I got so much, like if I had a mid-semester class or a part A, part B semester class that required work that overlapped semesters, so thankful for it. On that note, I think it is time for all of us to get our characters together. In honor of Cowboy Bebop, I see you back there over my shoulder as a Funko now, Spike. 3, 2, 1, let's jam. See you in 30. Here. I was like, no, run. Not that this house is very big to run across, but I was in the living room helping Kitty settle in. Kind of did just that this time around for the first sprint. So how about all of you? We are going to jump around a little bit in the comments, likely, first and foremost. Peter, hello. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. For all of our December and January birthdays. We heard it's your birthday. Happy birthday. I hope you have an absolutely amazing year ahead. Definitely take care of you because, dang it, now more than ever, you are always worth it. Happy birthday, friend. Indeed, indeed. Happy birthday, everybody. This month or next month. So if you want to check out the authortube link or the booktube link, I did share those that time around. Bethany made it in. Hello. Geeky Witch would be working, but hey, I know people in this boat. There's somebody in my life I call Jedi John. He's father-in-law to the stars, in my opinion, as far as father-in-laws go. He's the only one I ever had. So he's my only basis of comparison, and he's a Jedi because tech. He, because of working in tech, has this problem often. He works in a hospital installing like the computers and operating rooms and stuff, or managing those systems virtually and in person. So, yeah, he ends up with a lot of hours at the end of the year where he's like, so if only we lived further south from Maine, we could actually go do something. Hope, good morning. Do rewrites ever end? Like laundry? Yeah. I think when you decide to stop, that's when they stop. And therefore, that's why I said it's okay that even the trad published books on the shelf behind me or the indie ones behind me all have errors. We humans, we're allowed to own up to our mistakes and make our works our own. Exactly. That's part of what makes it a masterpiece, does it not? You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Potato chip mode is incoming. Potato chip mode is incoming for you, I hope, my friend. For sure, for sure. Miranda was forgetting something this morning, woke up. Oh, no! Last night was a weird night for me, too. I woke up at midnight from a plus or minus midnight. I remember it was not quite 1 a.m. on the clock. I woke up from a really bad dream. And then at 3 a.m., I woke up like no clue, no reason. Looked at the time again, and it was literally like 3:02 or something like that. And I'm going, what gives? I know it's a full moon this week and all, but what gives? Hope going to start rough draft of the next book and let this one sit. That's not a bad idea. Especially if it's a book 1 and a book 2 situation. And that's okay. Working on words is always welcome. Sorry for the sleep issues. Oh, so apparently it's also Carla. What is it with the East Coast, at least of the U.S.? I know Miranda's further west than us, I think. Stacy, just about 100 words, not bad. Elizabeth, you have a J job meeting in about 20 minutes, so I'm trying to cram some stuff in. You can do it. Take some time for you today, too, between both. Stacy is thinking you need to get a drink. Yeah, I think I need to get some tea. My coffee is not doing on its own this morning. I have some edits for a client to finish. Geeky Witch, your husband used to do the same hospital IT work. Yes. Especially given like when they recently in the last couple of years upgraded the entire system in the OR, they have to do that around surgeries. So literally, he's looking at whatever surgeries in what room and going, okay, what room haven't I done yet? And what is free for the whole day? Now, he works at one of the bigger hospitals, to be fair. And they cover one of the satellite hospitals in the area too, I think, as a partnership. So is there plenty of work to be done? Yeah. And therefore, this happens. Normally, he likes it whenever his boys come up to visit from down around the mid-Atlantic region, the PA area, because it means he gets to take a week off and there's nothing work can do about it. I don't blame him. That's a nice feature of family coming out of town. Carla, I think errors make their way into the books. Kind of like socks and laundry. Because I will stare at a sentence sometimes and be like, I know something's wrong. Hey, poke, poke, poke. What's wrong with this sentence? And show it to 3 people. Had I asked person number 4 or 5, they would have been like, oh, switch your object and your subject or something like that. Something simplistic. Stacy, in your stories, you purposely misspellings of words. You're fairly consistent with the misspellings, and that's good. You had a really bad dream. What was it? This weekend. You know what? Whatever it is, I'm not going to question it. It was meant to be left behind in 2025. We're going to say that. Yep, that's what we're going to say, Jenna. Totally. Sprint number 2. Go get some coffee or tea if you need it, y'all. I'll see y'all again in about 30. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get ourselves switched into a chat mode. I apologize. My second round of warm beverage is clearing everything out more than I thought it would. So if I have to pause to cough again, I apologize. Let's see. Carla, Kings and Queens. Thank you. Now I have this on my playlist for my self-care, soul care, bopping about the house. What all did you get done that time? I started the dishes, got more hot beverage, went ahead and started doing more editing for a client that I hope to get back, if not late today, early tomorrow. Andy, hello, how are you? What's on the menu? It's slow vibes. If you know Lion King 1.5, you know that from the opening of the movie. And of course, Hope, question. You read where you shouldn't confuse readers with difficult character names. I've made an MC with the name Alexander. He answers to Z, but his later he calls him Xander, and you spell it with an X. See, I personally would not find this confusing. Here's why. One, most people know the spelling rule, whether they intuit it and label it versus are two different things. But most people who speak and read English know that X often makes a Z sound, unless it's certain places in the inside of the name, such as this is why instead of Aliz, it becomes Alex, if that makes sense. And now that I think about it, I'm like, Aliz felt really weird to say. Because my body didn't want to do it out of muscle memory. Though if you explain the logic, you should be okay. I think where people start getting more confused is not as common names. Like I had a student whose name was Absidy, literally spelled ABCDE. Her parents thought it was adorable. This is literally what she says. Please call me Abby for our sanity, because she does not like being called Absidy. And as a fantasy writer reader, then there are orcish names, which is kind of like Japanese and Gaelic and Welsh had a love child and threw as many hyphens and accent marks / apostrophes into there as possible. And you're like, how do I pronounce this? So if you want to be on a future episode of my podcast, please check here. If you've never done an interview before, I have people who have said, this is my first, and I'm like, it'll be easy. And it's always the same response by the time the recording's done. This was easy. It's just having a conversation. That's the way I like to try to keep it. So if you want practice, come get some. Mama Maggie, hello, all the hugs. Mama Maggie is one of the team that helped to prepare, participate in, operate, run, give panels on the Right Now-a-thon. I had a cookies and bookies segment toward the end of chapter 5. Mama Maggie did a way cool panel on traditions that if, like, for example, in my books, their Myrna culture follows Kemetic Egyptian mythology and one of their actual like religious texts. I actually follow that spirituality, so that's how I know it. As someone who does that and includes multiple nods that it's okay for multiple people in a group to believe slightly different things and still get along, go watch Mama Maggie's segment because it was amazing. And I want to say Mama Maggie probably put that over on her channel, knowing her. You finally finished the shadow hunt. Yes. I need to get a hold of TDM. I have a request of the TDM, your middleist child. Definitely once reaches out, gives helps, gives questions. Take care of you. I'm sorry. Depending on what it's for, I don't mind a virtual visit. For example, I know what my sinus infections feel like. I know you're going to send me to get it cultured anyway. I don't need to go into the office for that. That's just me going to the pharmacy down the street. Don't make me run across town, please. Your female name, Andrea and Andrew. This, very much this. See, I actually had a couple very similar. I had a Christopher and a Christina that were a couple, and they ended up getting married. He goes by Chris. She goes by Tina. So, literally, she went by Chrissy until they started dating. And when they got engaged, she said, "We agreed, I'm now Tina." And we're all like, thank you. Thank you for preempting that decision making. And it's probably similar in books. You can preempt those for your reader. It was fun. Rachel did a fantastic job. All of the graphics that you see up on the website page that I shared for the Right Now-a-thon, it's my understanding she did pretty much all of it, or if not all, like 90% plus. That's what I hear through the grapevine, though. So very much congratulations there. Deleted 400. Nice. Took the plunge yesterday and tried. Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. I saw the replay. I was like, oh, these are so cool. So, I'll grab a link and I'll share. So for those of you who do the other crafty things, if you're like, I don't want to do writing sprints, but I'd like to show an example of another way to use sprints. Finished chapter 10 for Carla, now transitioning to the midpoint. Very nice. Ooh. Glimpses. And is it really all that fake? Stacy had a procedure on her shoulder. I was wondering how that was going. I wasn't going to ask. It's your favorite thing this year. Well, the worst part being the injury. I take it you're feeling better is my question. My mom said when she had her knee replacement that the surgery hurt half as less as her knee did before the surgery, is why I'm kind of asking if it's similar. Stacy, you've produced about 350. Not bad for the stream, especially on a Monday morning. The last Monday of the year, I might say. Carla, you highly... Oh, yes. This was so much fun. Carla's one of the people I had the pleasure of sitting down with for season 6. About a month and a half, plus or minus Halloween, Solid. I want to say we had ours. So if you want to check, I think on the podcast list sign up, I linked like the playlist. Go find Carla's. It's literally 2 former teachers sitting down, nerding out about writing for an hour. You're welcome. Mama Maggie, we've done my podcast before too, right? I want to say we have at least once. I've had Rachel on. I've had a bunch of you come visit. Tree by the road. Oh, he changed it to Tim when he turned 18. His parents were, I was going to say, are they hippie or are they reservation? Do they live on or near? Because I know people who live near it that aren't exactly living on it who have similar names. Okay, there you go. Take care of you. I've had you come for a visit too. That's all it is. It's just us geeking out and nerding out. Bethany got busy and forgot we were sprinting. Those are the best. On that note, I'm going to pause there and take that as a segue because those are the best. And I can't believe we're about to go into our 3rd sprint. We are just plus or minus halfway through. I was going to go to 12:30 according to the calendar. If I refresh it right quick and double check it, JD is starting at 1. So I figured somewhere between 12 and 12:30, we'll wrap up, build in a get up, move around lunch break if need be for everyone. And then we can kind of bop in with JD and get like a middle of the Monday kind of back to back going for you a little bit. You know what I'm going to say, though. If you need a break, please take care of you. I'll see you all here in 30 minutes. Get up, Move around, please. Your body and you will thank you later. All right, y'all, let's go ahead. And if you have not done so at all or in a while recently, save your work. We're going to go into another bit of a chat there. I'm working still on wrapping this edit. I'm down to the last 100 pages for this client. It's due by the end of the week. I'm probably going to have it done. If not by the end of the day today, then definitely tomorrow, because this is like going over it the second time. So catching what I didn't catch before, basically. How is this? So Bethany was where we had left off last. Mama Maggie's in a queue. How's it going, my dear? Hope, Carla, you followed that. Names are becoming a challenge. Yeah, I literally have a list of letters that are off limits to me. A is one of them. Abraxas, Adira, Aria, Andy. Who else am I forgetting that begins with an A, guys? I when I realized I had plus or minus 5, I said, okay, A names are off limits. I don't yet think maybe M's. M's are probably also off limits because Magdalena, Mardigan, Mitch, Marco. Yeah, that's now off limits. Yeah, you see why we keep lists of brain defaults? We have our habits. We like our cookies like the brain, our brains like the cookies they want. Yeah, wow. Now Cookie Monster is a zombie, not just Orlando Bloom. And if you want to know what that reference is, go watch the Right Now-a-thon. Oh my goodness. Carla, Miranda, thank you for reminding you to throw the pork roast. Oh, yes. See, are you I assume the pork roast is to go with sauerkraut. I hear that's a good luck thing in the East Coast parts. You did it a long time ago. Gotcha. Stacy, you're not 100%. You have to work on making sure that you don't freeze up again, but you have movement. Gotcha. So your range of motion, kind of making sure that you're getting fluidity back. Keep swelling is your enemy right now. The cold, I imagine, is to do what you need to do to take care of you. Fox, your intentions are what matter. And I'm glad to have you here when you are here, Word Wizard. Glad to see you. How are you? Good to see you, Lori. Yes, glad to have you here. We are going for about plus or minus another hour. We have 2 more sprints ahead. I might do a dice roll because we've been a little chatty. That's fine. But I'll probably do a dice roll for number 5. And that's okay. We love you all anyway. Martina, I'm glad to have you here. How are you? See, this is me with this cold thing, whatever. I thought it was allergies. No, I'm not sure at this point. Like, I might not be able to go to the Baltimore steampunk fae thing in a couple days because the pressure in here is just unreal. I hear you. Your daughter might go out to your church's youth group, but otherwise will stay home and go to bed on time for New Year's. I don't blame you. Hey, if that's the way you want to do is go into the next year well rested, I'm 3 thumbsing up that as possible. Miranda, catching up on HB90. I finalized a lot of my planning this weekend. So I'm cheering you all on. I don't blame you for kind of using today and tomorrow to get those in place either, or at least this week. You're working and then staying home. Thank you for taking care of you on New Year's Eve. You'll watch the Twilight Zone marathon. That's a cool tradition. When we were younger, my mom would always start the evening with Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July, and then Rudolph Shining New Year. And then my brothers would be allowed to watch one Die Hard movie. Normally she would have something like a game or something for the kids to occupy them during that time and get them away from the TV for a bit. And Die Hard would wrap up like right at that 11 o'clock plus or minus hour for us all to settle in. Take care of you. All the hugs. Enjoy your day. Carla, I almost called you Carissa. Carla, New Year's Eve, you'll work your 6 at the Fancy Pants Notebook Store. I love this job for you so much. And then heading home to chill. Throw a small bottle of Prosecco in the fridge. Nice choice. Nice choice. And then you've got 800 words in the stream. Woo, woo, well done. And you'll do what you can do because you have to leave in a half hour. Take care of you, all my hugs. Hey, Victoria, it's good to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. We have 2 more 30 minutes or shorter sprints ahead. We're going to be here about another hour because JD starts at 1. And I'd like to pass you all over there in time with a break in between. Because of your arm injury, you only written 2 other days since, and that's okay. Slow returns are welcome. You're allowed to take care of you, and you need to do so. Carla to Stacy, this dictation, this is when my wrists are bad. I know it, editing me is going to have such a much harder time cleaning it up later. If I have to get it out of my system and my carpal tunnel won't let me, this. Don't mind, but the kids. That's what I was wondering. Background noise. Yep. Q1 goals. Get your stickies going. I like that for you. Glad to have you here for. And you usually write as you wait for the ball to drop. Ooh. Okay. This is nice. Ending and starting as you mean to go on. That's clever. That's clever. On that note, we are going to get into our 4th sprint. Likely the next one I'll roll a dice for us because, again, I'd like for you to get a break before we go to JD. Anyway, see you all here in 30 minutes. If you're stepping out, all my hugs. If you're stepping in, let's jam. All right, everybody, welcome on back. I'm going to go ahead and do that and then click save. Save your work. Do not trust autosave. Okay, I should be on the road to finishing the majority of what needs to go back, reports and everything to this client first thing in the morning at the very latest. So, how are all of you? Victoria, usually right. I love this. Also, New Year's Eve looks like likely rest in charge for a good chunk of the audience. Not a bad choice. Mama Maggie, usually you drive around and look for. Oh, okay. But this year, while people were putting up the lights for Thanksgiving, took them down this weekend. As you drove home last night, you saw. Was there another one, Mama Maggie, that I missed? You saw none. Okay. Quick question. Should you email you or schedule a meeting for another book edit? Go ahead and email me. Once you're, this is for all of you who if you want all my books for next year and you've already started with me on other books, please email me. If you want to do a getting to know you session and you've never had an edit with me before, between January and February is the best time to do them to get all my scheduling book back there by the time you need me. Put it that way. Also, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted this one. Stacy, there you are. Because it jumped on me right as I clicked. You think Kronk is going to sing Devil in Disguise? It is indeed mellow and a great playlist ad. This is a really nice midpoint song, in my opinion. Nice for the project, for what you're working on, too. I'm still standing. Da, da. Is that the one from, I have, is it called Sing? That's the one I have in my head right now. Love that song so much. Martina, whole family decided to go to bed early. You'll celebrate New Year with a nice brunch. I love this idea. I'm all for food. All for the food. I'm just going to say you love soda pop. It's catching. I heard it once in a grocery store when it first came out, and I'm like, I had yet at that point to even see K-pop Demon Hunters, and I'm like, now I need to see it to get this song out of my head. Well played, K-pop Demon Hunters. Well played. All of our inner baddie codas were like, yep, we now have to go fulfill something. Thanks. Chloe, your first ever manuscript is going to a developmental editor and you're a little nervous as you've never done it before. Any words of wisdom as a developmental editor and as someone who has worked with several over the years, both in editing as like my senior editor on the trad publishing end, and also as like someone I hired in the past to help me with my books, really truly ask, A, do they do a sample edit? B, ask what other people have said about them. C, ask if they do payment plans. D, ask if they do follow-up meetings. One of the things I like to offer is a 1-hour video call as part of the edit. Now, most of the time it's because people are like, I have questions about A, B, C, D, E comments you left. Can we just meet instead of emailing back and forth? It covers for that, but it also covers for things like, okay, all the red scares me, help kind of meetings. So ask around whoever your developmental editor is and ask if whether or not they include it as part of the edit packaging or as an additional fee. If they do those kind of tack on coaching a little bit, it kind of is coaching, kind of isn't. It depends on what you use it for. Victoria, you did this last year and it helped the most with deep breaths. Yes. The goal is to help. Really, truly, this. The goal is to help. And here's another thing. Part of that helping is, I'm going to admit this as an editor. What I'm offering is a suggestion. Take it, leave it. In the end, it's up to you. It's your book. Carla, your editor is making suggestions. Agreed. Free to accept and reject them as needed. Board games on New Year's. Oh, I, as an adult, have thrown board game parties. And I totally 200% miss board game parties. I haven't done them in... The last one that would have happened would have been... How long ago were we at the apartment, guys? 2 going on 3 years ago? Would have been the last times. Actually, about 2 to 3 years ago, circa now, because it would have been what was the housewarming party. Speaking of parties, sprint number 5 is our wrap-up sprint. I did promise a dice roll. So, JD is sprinting at 1 p.m. in less than an hour. We have 18. Ow. Plus 4. 22 was the math on that the last I checked. Right about there. 23. Okay, you know what? 23:19. If you get that reference, you belong here. See you in 22 minutes. If you're stepping out, I hope to see you in JD's. If you're in for the 22 or so, all the hugs. Let's do this. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you so much for spending some time. How is it 12:30 already? Literally 12:29. Go get a little bit of a break. JD does start. I found a stream link directly to her. Stream if you want to portal hop on over and hang out with us over there. She kicks off at about 30 minutes from now. So get a break. Hope to see you all there. All my hugs. If I do not see you between now and when I stream next later this week, have a happy new year. All the blessings, all the joy. Be safe. Above all, take care of yourself. Now more than ever, you're worth it, dang it.